sidetracked here for a bit, but it's time to wrap it up for today. This Tuesday, June 3rd. We got some action going at 2 o'clock hour, and we're right shy of it at the 1:30 hour at this point. We got a nice little change of direction. They ran it hard to the downside after that squeeze to the upside. You got all the way up here to the 59.90s upper resistance areas and then knock it down hard. So you're looking for a short setup up here that had its opportunities if you were really willing to sit in that trade for a bit and nice knockdown from there. But as I say, it's hard to get on that trade at the high when it's just kind of slowly moving higher like that. And since then, it's kind of backed off, going sideways a bit, building value at the upper end of the range. So I'm looking maybe for a strong close here. You can see capital flow, how we came right up here to that ledge. We talked about that this morning, the 59.90s, that volume edge, and then first knockdown, okay. Second knockdown, we'll see. At this point, it looks to me like they built value up here, a little rundown, fake out to the downside, and now we're probably going to see a little bit of a rally going into the close. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So pretty strong close is what I'm expecting. If they close below this edge here at the 59.70, I may start thinking about the more of a range bound start of the trading day. But if they can hold this ledge, the 59.70, 71, we're in pretty good shape to potentially take this higher into the close. You know, we have a few more minutes. A little bit late on this one. We've got a few more minutes before things starts getting crazy. Finally, finally, the Nasdaq and the bond market to the downside have taken out the 06s, drifting lower, yields coming up a bit. So prices down, they're down below this 1206. So a little bit concerned, down retesting that 1128 to the 1130 level again. So not happy about that. Prices straight down, yields coming up. So it's not a great sign. We'll see where they're going to go in overnight. I would be looking for a retest to that low at the 28s, 1128 in the overnight, and then let's see if it holds or not. If it holds, we may see that a nice little retracement, but that's anyone's guess if that's going to hold or not. Nasdaq also in pretty good shape, but a little bit better setup on that one. You can see how they stalled here and attempt to take it higher, and now they attempt to take it higher. So you get an indication here that there wasn't going to. You may have a little bit of a pullback developing, especially when that bar happened here. So you got a couple of opportunities to try to get short before this one. That it would get this violent, that's a little bit more than expected. But they ran it pretty hard to the downside, right into the initial balance high, the 630 level, right to that 630 level, K period, and then bounce right off it straight up. And this is difficult to trade because here you're geared in on the short side, then it runs hard down, and then a complete reversal right back up again. Sideways action. I was thinking about this one potentially heading back down again, but as you can see, here's your fake out. They start taking it lower, and people hop on the short side just to get caught into the close. So I'm thinking strong close on the Nasdaq. And if they can hold above that ledge, the 650s, definitely starting from the long side on both ES and Nasdaq going into the overnight. So there we have it. Pretty strong close. I'm liking it. Finally, oil and gold. Don't have too much to say about those two. The gold market is pretty much range bound. A little bit to the downside, but pretty darn range bound. They ran it down to 55, holding at 75. So range bound right now. Hard to say where they're likely to go, but the move out of the middle I think is still definitely intact. They haven't run it down here this whole way down to the 33.40s. So pro pretty good, holding right at that 33.75 level. And I would say they hold above that 33.68. I would stay on the long side on this, see how far they can take it. This could be as they pull back and now they're getting ready for another attempt to take this higher. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. But watch that level. 68 is going to tell the tale if it's going to head lower again. And then finally, oil, that's kind of holding in the range. They're up here against the 63.80s, backed off a bit, hasn't done much. Big move here, right, at the very close to the 2 o'clock hour. That's typical oil. It just makes it difficult to trade when you get slop, and then like a massive move like that, and then nothing again. So like a huge order came in, and that was it. So anyway, so just one trade for me. So I would say range bound oil. On oil, I would be looking for potential retest of the highs in the overnight. So maybe slight buys to the upside to get started. On gold, maybe slight buys to the downside. to retest that low. But if 68 holds, I'm thinking they can potentially trade back up again. All right, so one trade on the Nasdaq early on. I got out early, so not much to show for it. About 550 on one trade, and that's it. That's all I did today. So there you have it. Back to the ES. And news for tomorrow, Wednesday. We have ADP report. Remember, we have the employment situation on Friday. We have a Fed speaker at 8:30. A PMI composite at 9:45. ISM services at 10. The oil report at 10:30. So that's what we got. And beige book at 2. So that's stuff we got going at tomorrow morning. So a bit of action to deal with. All right. So we'll wrap it there. So sorry I missed that the 12:30 or the 3:30 update. That's kind of floppy, but it happens. Getting old, I guess. Sidetracked. Alrighty, guys. We'll see you back in the morning. Have a good evening. Later.